Welcome to episode 29 with Evan Tsourtsoulas, who is a world rowing champion who has gotten gold and two silver medals, and also has a very inspirational story. So thank you for joining us today, Evan.
Thank you so much, Simos. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on. I wanted to take it way back. Where did it all begin for you? I know you were in Greece, and you told me a little bit about your story last time we talked.
Last time we talked, yeah, I started. I currently still live in Greece, right? I started in a small town up northwest Greece in a town called Castoria. It's a lake city. I started my rowing career. Well, it wasn't really a career. I started my first sport rowing when I was 12, back in '97, right? And it was a thing. It's still a thing because it's the main sport back in my hometown. And I started up because all of my friends joined, so it was kind of a group thing. It was like a hangout place with my friends. And um, we were 12. It's like we were age groups like 11, 12, 13. It's like nobody looked at it like the competition part of it. So it was more of the fun, like getting in a boat, being in nature, and all
Yeah.
that stuff. So it had nothing to do about being competitive or, it's like beating each other up. It was more of a hangout place.
I see. I didn't know rowing was
Yeah,
that big. So rowing was the main sport in the village.
yeah. Rowing, it's still the main sport in Castoria.
Ah, that's cool.
Uh-huh.
Man. So then you got into it basically with your friends, and then you realized how good you were at it,
I
how you
I
naturally
didn't really
excelled.
realize. Well, I wasn't one of the best athletes around. I was probably one of the heaviest. It's like I was one of those chubby kids, and I never knew that I had this competitiveness in me. I slowly, because I just showed up every day. I showed up every day. I started getting better. I started working with the older kids, right? The coaches, really good coach, because they looked at us as, like as small kids, like they wanted us to get better. And and event after event, after doing well, and with the help of my family, my parents mostly, we took it a step further. And so, we started with the Balkan championships. It's the Balkans are, Turkey, Bulgaria, Romania, Serbia now, and then it picked up from there to junior worlds, and then to under 23 and seniors, and after that,
I see. That's interesting, man. So then how did you know at what point did you realize that you had the potential to be to get gold and silver and
I didn't really knew I had the potential. I just, like the coaches saw the scores on the water and off the water, and so everybody kind of relied on me, my teammates, like they were telling us, like, you're doing good, you're doing great, you're doing great. We had a lot of positive feedback. We had a great team behind us. And um until I went to the States, because after the junior world championships, I went and studied exercise science in the US. I realized that where I came from, because when I actually went to the States, at Marietta College, Ohio. That's where I noticed, it's like I saw how they train with what they train with. I saw like all the new equipment, because, um, my club didn't have a lot of money. So, it's like we always rode with the older equipment, older boats, older oars. Like the weight room wasn't that much equipped, and I didn't get to see a lot until I went to the US and I started traveling in Europe and around the world to see truly what athletes had to prepare with. It was kind of like, like the Rocky story when he went to Russia. He was supposed to
yeah.
train, he had the Russian, like training with all this like technology. It was kind of like an underdog story. It was always an underdog story because I was always one of the smaller guys, and
That's
but
amazing.
yeah, but I kept pushing. I started believing myself, but it wasn't. I I didn't start believing myself until my coach and my parents, would always give me positive reinforcement. They would follow me wherever I'd go, and then that went on. That went on. Um,
That's so cool that
yeah,
the underdog story.
yeah, yeah. Everybody likes an underdog story, but it was fun. It was fun because the main part of being in a sport and being in a competitive sport is having fun. If you're enjoying what you're doing, then stick with it. The moment you stop enjoying it, then it's like maybe you pick up and do something else, right? Because then
That's
it becomes,
true.
yeah, it's
That's
just
true,
like how you are
man.
trying to break the world record again. Try to get into that Guinness book. You got that drive. It's like you wake up in the morning, you're like, let's go.
Thank you. No, that's true. You're right. If you don't enjoy it, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
In regards to like a hobby or a sport, that's a good point.
exactly right.
What is your why that drives you? Because I know you had to have a lot of discipline. I know you had a passion for it, but also you have so much discipline to commit to the relentless training. So what was your driving force?
My driving force that I always like to have a goal. It was because when you're on top, the hardest part is to stay on top, right? Because like um after all those nationals, after all those Europeans and then the World Championships, the main focus is to stay on top. So you kind of like work harder. It's like just like how you see like all those teams like NBA or NFL. It's like they're all trying like not a lot of those teams like go back to back or go for a three-peat. It's basically hard, but you try to stay committed. You're like, I got to do it again. I can do it again. It's that belief that you can't do it again.
I see. Also, do you think was it partly to support your team and so you didn't let your team down in a sense, like the community, the camaraderie?
You know what? I think the community was my community, like my teammates. Like as long as they continue doing it, it's like it was a big drive force for me to keep doing it, and as long as my parents backed me up, it's like my main back me up is not psychological, it was like financially because it's not a professional sport, unfortunately, for all that time you put in, or it's not like you're going to make that $1 million contract just like a professional sport. So, so if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be doing it for so long, you know. And
Yeah,
you forget it, like you're in that high level. It's like it's not only the emotional support, it's the food you're eating, it's the dog, like the physical therapy. So actually, you're pumping a lot of money in to do something that if you achieve, that's great. You're not going to get a lot of money out of it, but it's like you gotta see that so many athletes try to get to that level, to achieve something, and they don't make it. They don't make it. And when I say don't make it, it's not like they're lengths behind or meters behind. It's like when you're that kind of level, like this much makes a difference between first and fifth or first and 10th.
wow,
So
man,
I believe that there's luck into it. There's luck in every sport, right? There's you gotta be ready on the right day and the right time, right? And and also day in day out, the focus is like what you truly believe in.
I see.
What you truly believe in. If you kind of believe in yourself and the sport, then I believe that you can believe in yourself and any other thing you do.
Makes sense. It's so mental. Like if you don't believe in yourself, then you're gonna have that limit, that self-imposed
You're gonna
limitation.
you're gonna always have a limit. You're gonna always have a limit.
That's
You
true.
know, and it's like most times, like most days, like sorry to say this online, most days suck. You know, you're gonna have you're gonna have bad practices out of 10, but it's like you got to rip through it. You got to take it like a champ. You got to bite the bullet.
True. That discipline. What was
Yeah.
your training like? Because I know it
My
must have been relentless.
my training, like
Yeah.
hours wise,
Well,
um,
like what you did, was it mostly some weightlifting, some
it,
rowing,
it,
some
it,
cardio?
it was in Greece. And what because I rowed, I have a dual citizenship, so I rowed for the Greek national team and the U.S. national team. So it was a total different mentality in Greece. It's like you really have to have the mentality of, like of a robot. This is what I do. It's like I obey, I do what they tell me, and I put in the hours, right? And when I went to the US, it was there was a that's where I realized in studying exercise science, you know, sport doing sports, it's a science, right? There's a base to a program. There's a base to how you eat, how you sleep, first of all, okay, and training comes training comes last, okay, because you're only going to train 3, 4, 5 hours a day, okay, maybe more, but it's what you do the rest of the day that that's very important to your max output, okay, to how you're
True.
going to do it. All right. If you're gonna eat like shit or you sleep like shit, then forget about it. You can train as hard as you want, but you're not gonna you're not gonna max out.
That's interesting. So Greece had like a more militant
Yeah,
mentality
it
with
was more
training, and
military mentality, and in the
then
US, it was totally different. I mean, it's like
more
I
fast.
went to a Division 3 school, but the rowing program was terrific. It's like I went there and like I felt like I was at a professional team because we had basically everything. We had new equipment. We physio room. Food was great. You know, um, Sleep was great. Like I only took 15 credits a semester, which was great. So everything was programmed. There's like I like having a program.
I
When I was on
see.
the U.S. national team, it's like I trained at high performance centers, where you had exercise scientists, that would check your lactic acid. They would check your VO2 max. You would see where you are. Not that we didn't do it here, but it was totally different. It's
Interesting.
different. It's different. Like I realized how it is, to wake up rested and to wake up tired.
Ah, okay. So in Greece, they were just like drilling you. It was just too much training, not enough recovery, and balance
Exactly.
overall.
Exactly.
Ah, okay. I
But
see.
in the U.S., it's like they teach you how to balance life, right? You train, you have a job, okay? If you want to, you have a family, right? It's all up to you. It's all up to you.
I
So
see.
it's totally different because in the U.S., not only the U.S., in every other country too, it's like someday you're going to finish, right? You have to finish school first of all. It's like they asked me in the U.S. It's like, did you finish school? I had one more year to go, and I said, no, I got one more semester. Like when you're done, cross up. Yeah, welcome.
Wow. So they
Oh,
really
yeah,
prioritized, they looked out for you, and it wasn't just the singular focus of you performing.
exactly, exactly.
I see. That's good. That's very good. I know last time we talked, you touched about saying how they wanted you to make in Greece, they wanted you to make certain weight cuts, and so that was like
Yeah,
a hard side of
that,
training as
that
well,
was
right?
that was my main story that I had to make. Uh, I had to make a certain weight cut. Like I started out as an open weight category, which was anything above 70 kilos, like 155 pounds.
Ah, okay.
Right? So I usually weigh around 200, 205 pounds, right? And
That's a big cut.
I had to drop down 155 all by myself, right? And that's where that's where my life changed. That's where I saw everything different in my life because no one knew no one knew the outcome of it. Like what I went through. I was silent for many years. I had to go through mental illnesses like anorexia or bulimia, right? So I can make weight. All you thought about it was how are you going to make weight for race day, and I wasn't myself anymore. I lost a lot of weight. Um, I lost awareness of what was going on. Self-esteem.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my scores dropped like crazy. But the only thing I had in mind was, it's like, I can do it. The only thing I had in mind was in my mind that I can do it.
I mean, that's impressive because you had such a winner's mentality that you just did whatever it took. But the
I did
downside
whatever it took.
was,
I did whatever
yeah,
it took,
but the
and
downside
and,
was you suffered from that.
and it's something I wouldn't do again. It's like if I had to
No.
go back in time, I wouldn't do it again.
That's
Not not for any medal.
I understand. That's unfortunate they put so much pressure on you that it caused you to be bulimic and anorexic to make weight. That's crazy how much pressure they put on you for you to experience all of that.
Oh yeah, it's still going on. It's still going on. It's been over a decade and it's still going on. It's like you see in any national team, like they only have a handful of athletes in any national team. It's like it's not that they care to have athletes, but it's the way they want them to have. It's like they want people to obey. Okay, they want people to obey. It's not like any other country where they have dozens of athletes, over 100 athletes, and they can pick on who's the best, right? Because um, you basically don't have any choice here. You just listen. You can't study, right? You can't go to university. You
Man,
personal life. You can't go out, right? It's it wasn't great. It wasn't great growing up because I lost a lot of time with friends, with personal relationships, family time, um, and it was. And I'm going back to your question where you said it's like, did you do this for your community? It's like I did it for myself. I did it for myself to prove myself something. Where nobody has to prove anything to anybody. It's like you be yourself. Nobody's
true.
gonna
No,
nobody's gonna judge you. If you do something or you don't, all right, you're not gonna be judged out of if you break world records. It's like you do that for yourself.
that's
But
true.
but most importantly, as I mentioned in the last podcast, it's like because everybody's like, I'm doing it for my country. It's like, I'm doing it. I'm making my country proud. I say that's bullshit. Because that's bullshit. Nobody cares if they make their country proud. It's a big ego, and athletes do have big egos. Like one medal's not enough. You got to get another one. You're not going to do it for your country. You're going to do it for yourself because it's your ego.
That's a good point, though. You're right. Ultimately, it comes down to doing it for yourself, and so then in that sense, you don't have to prove anything. And it's crazy what you went through, man. So, at what point did you realize you were done with dealing
I
with the
matured enough to see what's going on. I couldn't. I mentally and physically couldn't take it anymore, and I saw that I was losing a lot of job opportunities that I could have
okay.
taken over the years. Because you, like I said, like you're not making anything out of it. It's like you win a world championship. Like in the U.S., you win an Olympic gold medal, you only get 20 grand. That's it.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy. They only give you 20 grand if you get gold?
20. It's like
What?
20, 25.
Man, I thought their lives changed, like
No,
I
their
thought they were
lives.
set.
No, their lives don't change.
Man, that's
Were
crazy.
you, were you could do an Olympic sport, like besides like the NBA, like the athletes that go to the Olympics, like for you to do that kind of sport, you either got to be living off old money, literally, it's like there goes a day in your there goes a day in your life where you don't have to worry about money or working, all
Yeah,
right? Or you gotta be putting your ass down and pulling your own weight.
that's a lot. That's a lot to manage, man. To be working, to, have the responsibilities of life and have another full-time job on top of a full-time job. That's crazy, man. So, if you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
If I went back and gave my younger self advice, I would, chase your dreams. I would say that, you know, do what you love, right? Do what you love. Spend time spend time with family and people who who love you, who want to be around you, all right? Because there was a lot of time taken away from that, okay? And I would I would definitely say, it's like pick something, pick something to do and balance your life between doing something athletic, all right? Doing a job that you like, that's going to make you happy and that's going to bring you some food on the table, all right? And I would definitely like my grandfather used to tell me, it's like, yeah, work with this and not with this.
I've heard that phrase too. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that makes sense. So I like that balance basically to follow your heart,
Yeah.
to find a job you enjoy, be healthy, and just enjoy your loved ones, enjoy the time together.
And whatever you do, be humble.
I
Be
like
humble.
that.
That's
I
it.
like that,
That's it. Because
man.
whatever you do, it's like you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for yourself. It's like it's like you might be, or you might be a coach. It's like you might want to have athletes that look up to you. That's fine, right? You might be an influencer. You have people look up to you, right? But do it for the right thing.
I like that. No, you're right. We all get so caught up, often get caught up, either for the wrong reasons or some people get caught up with their own ego and but ultimately we all have our own paths. No one is better than anyone, and everybody has a story to share, and so it's being humble is such a important thing. Everybody needs to be humble. I
It
like
is.
that.
It is. Well, I'll give you another example. It's like I see
Sure.
what you're doing. Now it's like you already have a Guinness World Record and you're going for another one. And it's like you look up to it's like because as an athlete, I look up to this dude. I say like, look what this dude's doing. It's like he put in a goal and he's sticking with it. Because a lot of people put goals, but they don't know they don't know what they're gonna go through in the journey, right? It's like they don't know what's going to take. And that's the difference between somebody that's serious of what he's doing and somebody that just talks. All right.
Thank
Because
you.
the basic part of it is going through the journey. Okay. And I understand it's like most times, like you're not gonna have fun with that journey because it's like you got responsibilities. Um, It's like you gotta work, you gotta live, but that is part of the journey. Okay, and when you do it, and I believe you're gonna do it, right? You're gonna look back at it and you'll be like, man, that was tough. You're gonna be like, I'm not gonna do that again. But you're always gonna have that bug to be like, what's next?
You're right.
What's
No, you're
next?
right, and I appreciate
Okay?
that.
And that's the difference between an athlete that's ready to go through hell every time, and that's somebody that just talks.
I see. No, that makes sense, and no, I appreciate that. And it's funny because I realized that once I got the first one, ultimately no one really cared. Like I thought it was gonna change my life, and I thought it was gonna like and so I realized that you're right. Ultimately, it was for me. It was for me to just prove to myself and to learn the discipline and to believe in myself. And there were little benefits like using it as like a tool, but aside from that, it comes back to what you were saying, where ultimately we have to just live our lives, do things, you know, for ourselves. And I like what you said earlier
Yeah, you're
because it
giving
was so
yourself a
true.
reason to get up, to get out of bed in the morning, and that's very
Yeah,
important.
yeah, you're right.
That's very important because like people forget, it's like, you know,
Purpose.
give yourself a purpose. Life is not just, going through Monday to Friday, work, and then Saturday, Sunday, being a couch potato. It's like TV or phones all day, it's like give yourself a purpose. It's
I
important,
like that.
start, you know, everything is a long-term goal, but don't be afraid to start. Don't be afraid to start. It's like just go with day one. Do something. You don't need to be a pro athlete. You don't need to be a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan. All right. You just need to be you. And people don't understand that because they're all stuck in their phones or on their TVs and they're like, like ultimately they're like, I'm not going to do that. It's like, I'm not going to get to that level. Nobody's asking you to get to that level, bro.
What what is your advice for those struggling with self-doubt or lack of motivation from your experience with everything you've been through?
Well, a lot of people go through self doubt because um, well, nowadays people are really connected to social media. And they look after they look after people that have have done achievements in their lives, not realizing that everybody has their own story. And I would say, start with something. You want to cut weight. It's like you don't need to be in shape to start training. Start doing something. If you're ashamed to go to the gym, start walking, start jogging. Um,
I like that.
yeah. Um, you want to do acting? Start acting. You want to write? Start writing. Most but I find most people find an excuse because they have built a routine around their day that it's hard to get off, right? Because they've they've created a lot of people have created a comfort zone, right? And don't forget, your mind plays a lot of role on what you're doing. It's like you get a lot of negative thoughts all the time. It's like,
Oh
what
yeah,
if, what if I do this? It's like, what if, like, what is this guy doing? I'll never be able to do what this guy's doing. Like, you don't have to look up to, not look up to any. You don't have to do what, like like I mentioned Michael Jordan did. You don't have to, that's his own story.
you're right. You're right.
That's
That's great advice.
even Shaq, that's his own story.
Yeah,
All right.
you're right.
Everybody
Just to
has
do
to create their own
what you
story.
need.
It's very important. You don't have to. And what I would mention to somebody that's struggling is that, man, you don't have to prove anything to anybody. And you have to prove to yourself, what you're worth to yourself. You know, um,
I
keep
like that.
close to who will be by your side. Is that going to be your mom, your dad, or both? Is that going to be your siblings? Is that going to be your one or two close friends? Is that going to be a mentor? Is that going to be a teacher? Just keep your circle
True.
keep your circle close and small. And Simos, I bet you've been through this too. When you go forward in your life, you see your circle gets smaller.
Yeah, no, that's true. It does. It really
Your circle
does.
gets smaller. You know, a lot of people you don't know will look up to you, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the people who will stick with you in your lowest.
You're right. No, that's very true. Yeah, at your lowest, you really do find out who your closest friends are.
Exactly.
100%. Yeah, man. Do you I know last time we talked, um, with your story, your experience, you reached such a high level of performance and you were so disciplined. Do you have any morning rituals or routines that you do these days?
Um, when I was on both national teams, the ritual. I mean, it, my morning ritual is I wake up every day. I wake up hungry, hungry, hungry to eat. Not that much hungry to train. I mean, most days just be like, what am I doing? You ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? You know, and when you dress up to go to work out, I said that's half the practice. That's half the training session. Is that you got up, you got dressed, and you're ready to go. So all you have to do is show up. But no, my like I look forward to getting up and having a decent breakfast.
Oh, okay. And do you eat pretty healthy? I'm curious. Like you have like a Greek coffee and
Mostly, mostly, I'm pretty healthy. I mean, um, I try to stay away from my sugars. Generally, like I stay away from sugar. You know, I stay balanced. You know, meat, vegetables. You know, my carbs.
yeah.
But you know what? If I want something, I'll have it. If I want my ice cream, I'll go have it. If I want my pizza, I'll go have it. You know, if I want a
Oh,
burger,
the balance.
yeah, yeah. But it's balance is the best.
Oh
Balance is the
yeah.
best. And after what I went through, I mean, the secret is balance. You know, um, I never believed in all those strict diets that go on, like Atkins diets or paleo, all that stuff. You know, it's like you got to balance because like everything is up here. You know, you don't want to mess that up. Because
Yeah, yeah.
you start feeling pressured. You know, it's like I have to do this. Once you get into that, you know, you start losing it.
For
You start
sure. Yeah.
because you know it's like at some point, let's say in Greece, you know, we socialize a lot. You know, we'll go out for a drink, coffee, like usually we go out to eat a lot. So what are you gonna do? You like I'm gonna stick with the salad, or I'm gonna stick with the main dish of steak and rice? No, man. You know, it's like we got a great cuisine. You know, you're gonna eat whatever's out there. You're gonna enjoy.
Man, miss the food.
Yeah,
That's awesome. But you're right. Yeah, having balance. Balance is everything. For
balance
sure.
everything.
Oh yeah. When you're working out, because I know, even today, I see your stories, you're killing it in the gym. Do you have like a go-to song or playlist that you listen to that gets you hyped up?
Usually, I usually listen to rock metal, but I actually listen to a lot of hip hop, R&B. I don't really have a favorite artist, but I'll just have a random playlist going.
Ah,
I'm not
okay.
yeah, I'm not gonna listen to opera working night, that's for sure. But
No
but
classical, no opera.
yeah, classical. But usually when I'm super tired and I just don't want to do anything, you know, I'll just put like rock or heavy metal on and I'll just give it a go.
Okay. No Greek classics or Greek hip hop. I know there's some good Greek rappers now.
No, I don't listen to Greek hip hop. Well, Greek classes I'll listen to if I go out for a meal.
Ah, okay.
Because you know you got the taverna, what they say, like they say in America. You got the restaurants, you know, they all play Greek.
Man, I miss it so much over there. The food, the
You're
people, I miss it.
more
I
than
think
you're
what's
more than
that?
welcome to come anytime.
Thank you. No, I can't wait. Maybe a couple of years we'll be over there. I'll
Exactly.
let you know.
Got it.
Have you ever had an embarrassing gym moments?
Embarrassing gym moments is
Yeah.
embarrassing gym moment. Um, yeah, I for I forgot my trainers, right? And I just went around the gym with socks on. It was a random, yeah, it was a random gym, and I told And they're like, "Oh, it's okay." Like as long as you have your socks and you have socks, I got socks. So, I was walking around with brown socks, right? They were work socks, like dressed up socks. So it's like I just,
Yeah,
I, it's like after I got in the train,
that's
I didn't even care at that point.
that's funny. Were people looking at you, like looking at your feet, like what is this
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
doing?
Some people looked at me, but I didn't care. Yeah,
That- It's always funny to hear different people's, embarrassing moments because everybody has
yeah,
embarrassing.
yeah, I've seen others embarrassing moments too. I try not to look or like make them feel ashamed, but it's like I'll be like, "Yeah, I've been there. Don't worry about it, man."
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Everybody has this an experience,
yeah.
man. If you had to choose, I know you don't have like cheat meals because if you want something, you eat it. You're good balance. But if you were gonna have like a dessert, what would it be?
Man, if I would have a dessert, it would
Yeah,
be it would it would be uh, it would be a Greek dessert, right? It would be like like a we call it like a kadaifi. It's what we call siropiasto, okay, which is it's basically it's so sweet. There's this thing that's called a phyllo, okay?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like a
Feel
Turkish.
no.
It's like Americans know it as Turkish delight, right? Or like a lukumi, because like any other dessert you can find anytime.
True.
So I'll look for something really sweet, so it's worth my while.
Ah, okay. Like
You,
baklava
you don't
or
need a big amount like a baklava, right? Like a baklava because
okay.
you only need this much.
True. Yeah, it's very concentrated, very sweet.
Right.
You're satisfied with a little piece. Yeah. Okay. It's a good dessert.
Yeah.
Galactoburgo?
Galactic right? But it's like you can't have enough of that. You can't have enough of it. It's so good, it's like you're just gonna finish it up. You're gonna
True.
cut yourself a piece this big, and you're gonna look back and you're gonna be like, it was worth it anyways.
It's not as sweet. Yeah, that's true. You could
Yeah.
have more of it. Man. Um, the I was gonna ask if you could do kind of jumping around a little bit, but in regards to your fitness journey, here's a funny question. If you could choose one exercise to do for the rest of your life, what would it be?
If I could,
Basically, like favorite exercise.
my favorite exercise is deadlift, hands down.
Really? I would
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I wouldn't choose the
Is that,
indoor row. I wouldn't choose the indoor rower. As much as I'm good at it, I hate it.
huh? Do you say deadlift translates well to rowing? Because it kind of seems like a
It,
similar motion almost.
it's the same motion, but you're standing up. But if one exercise I'm personally good at is the deadlift, right? Because I don't train at it that much anymore, but only when I do like if I do like CrossFit workouts or just deadlifts in it, it's like I'm like, let's go. But I used to do really heavy deadlifts back in the day, and but it's still something that I would never get up. I would never give up. I like back squats, front squats, deadlifts. I really like those heavy exercises.
I see. Do you feel like those translate well to rowing? Like, what do you
Yeah,
think your top three exercises are for
my
to
top
get better at
three,
rowing?
my top three exercises would be back squats, deadlifts, and probably bench press.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I've done strongman competitions before. Not strongman, powerlifting.
Ah, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Excuse me.
That's cool. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah, I did. I like lifting. I like lifting a lot.
Nice, man. Do you think that like what exercises translate the most to rowing? If someone wanted to be as proficient as rowing,
I
what do you think
think
they should work on?
I really think the squats because it brings a lot of leg drive. Because all you hear in rowing is like pull, but you're not actually pulling. You're hanging off the oar, off the handle of the oar, but you're
Uh,
hanging, you're pushing with your legs. So there's a lot of leg drive.
I
It's
see.
mostly leg drive. You're using your biggest muscle, right? So you're actually you're like think of you're actually deadlifting in a parallel, right? So you're pushing.
That's
You're
true.
not
Yeah,
pulling.
your leg drive. It's just like it's a hip hinge.
It's a hip hinge, exactly.
Ah, okay.
So it's like every time you think of rowing, it's like you're pushing hard.
Interesting. And it is kind of, would you say knee dominant as well? Like hip and knee dominant? Or
Yeah,
more like hip dom? Okay, both
it's
makes
more.
sense.
I would say it's more hip dominant because you have a lot of pressure at that point. But um, you know, a lot of people think that it's because you're pulling that you need to pull back at the end, but that's in, that's in the end of the rowing part. When before you come to release, right, to get the oar out of the water, but your arms are not nearly as strong as your legs.
That makes sense. Yeah. No, to be the most efficient, it's more power from your legs, and you just kind of flow through with that movement. That makes sense. Yeah. Huh.
But so actually, yeah, back squats and deadlifts. Yeah, I think you need those two exercises to focus the strengthening for rowing. Definitely.
Good, good. No, that's, I'm sure a
Well,
lot of people will be curious to hear
that's why I
from a
got into weights.
professional.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I was going to say
Oh,
that
you're good.
that's what like I did back squats and deadlifts from a young age because I didn't know how to lift. But those were the two basic exercises that we used all the time. So I was like, okay, if this is working and making me stronger, then I'll keep doing it.
Hmm. No, that makes sense. Yeah, for sure. The to build on that power, to increase your leg power, to for the leg drive for rowing, more efficient strokes. That makes sense. Huh.
So if you think about it, if because there's a drill where you're rowing, like let's say you're sitting on the rowing machine, and think about that, you're not pulling, your arms are just locked out, okay, the whole time, all right, and all you have to do is use your legs. You're just pushing, right? There you understand that it's it's a leg based sport, right? So when in the end part, you're using your arms, so you're making a bigger stroke in the water, right? And you want to release, you want the oar coming out of the water, and you go back to the beginning. Basically, rowing, if I could theoretically say it, without showing it, is in one stroke, how far can you make the boat? How many meters can your boat go
I see.
in one stroke? So
Huh.
if you can complete, let's say, 20 meters in one stroke, all right, in a race, multiply that by 240 strokes. It's like you're trying to make the boat go faster by making it go further at every stroke,
I see. More efficient.
more efficient.
I see. That's interesting. Huh.
Yeah,
Man, no, thank you for sharing that.
yeah,
That's
man.
interesting. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested
Yeah.
to hear that. I was gonna jump over to the more mindset section, and I wanted to ask, how has or what parallels have you found between fitness and your day-to-day life or career that most people don't realize? Like, how has it benefited you and your overall life? What you
My,
learned from fitness?
I'm disciplined. It helped become disciplined. I'm basically disciplined. I'm a freak of discipline. I need to get something done. If I have something to do, I need to get it done. I need to get it done, and I don't care what time it is. If it's 12 or 1 o'clock at night, or it's like 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. It needs to get done. But I hate excuses because you have 24 hours in a day, right? And if if you're finding excuses means that you're wasting a lot of time. So you got to put your priorities straight. I don't know what. what that is. It's like you need to put your phone down. You need to turn your TV off. You know, I don't care what the weather's like outside, if it's raining or if it's hot. You need to get it done.
I like that. Yeah. Most people don't have that level of discipline at
No, they
all.
don't have. I understand they don't have that, and I don't ask. I don't ask any of my athletes to have that level of discipline, but I just hate excuses from people. I don't like excuses. And it's like my
That's a good
parents gave me.
mentality.
I got that from my parents. Like my mom, she hates excuses. Because she's a goer, she's a doer. So I basically don't. I hate excuses. It's just noise in my ears.
I like
Yeah.
that. Excuses are just noise in your ears. That's a cool phrase.
Right.
You're right, though. There's no reason to have excuses. It's either you do it or you don't. It's either this or that. There's no, yeah, you're
If,
right.
if you're not lying in bed with a fever, just don't tell me anything.
It's a good point. Yeah. No, I like that
Yeah.
mentality. I've only got one or two questions left. What's the best piece of advice you received from a mentor or a role model? Best piece of advice ever.
Best piece of advice. Best piece of advice. Well, I got plenty of advice from my parents, but the best advice I think I got was from my coach, John Bankieri, my college coach. He passed away a couple months ago, right? He told us no matter how hard things are, how tough things are, no matter the water conditions, no matter the weather conditions, there's no excuse of you not to pull hard. And uh, at that point, I realized he was right. So I took that and I phrased it to everything that I'm doing today because life's tough. Life's tough, and
Yeah.
that's it's like you have to accept it. You have to admit it. Life is good. If you want it to be, you can make your life miserable. You can make your life great, but it's going to be tough either way. Either way, it's going to hurt. So you um, you take it. It's like you have to accept how much it's going to hurt. There's no easy way out.
I like that, man. No, that's so true. That's so true. It's not always, sunshine
Oh, it's not always.
and yeah, you're right. You just got to deal with it.
You got to
That's
take it like a champ, man.
yeah.
That's what you got to take it like a champ.
I like that. No, that's it's very yeah, very good advice. Very practical advice.
Yeah.
Um, my last question is what is next for you? How are you continuing to excel beyond boundaries?
My my next move is, well, I don't have a move. I just want to I just want to be ready for
I like that. Okay.
for whatever it is. I want to be ready for war. It's not the right word because it's politically incorrect, but whatever comes in, I want to be ready. If I have a race to do in a week, if I have a competition, I know I'm going to be ready. I know
Okay.
I have to be ready. Um, if I have to move to another place, I have to be ready to lift lots of loads and go. If my life's going to change, if I'm going to work somewhere else, um, I'm going to be ready. I'm not going to be like, but I need to prepare. I need mentally, physically. I'm always ready.
It's a good mentality. Yeah, you maintain your fitness. You
I
maintain your level of functionality and performance.
definitely have to maintain your fitness. Yes, I'm not saying you have to train 4 or 5 hours a day, but if you can do a good quality 2 hour workout almost every day, if not like at least 5 days a week, which is, like I said, you got 24 hours. It's like you you can put in 2 hours of work, of quality work, you'll be fine.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. All it takes is a little bit of time each day. Yeah,
It
a
takes a
little
little
bit
bit of
of
time.
that's true. Man. Well, thank you, Evan. I appreciate it. Seriously. Thank you
You
for
know,
taking the
I
time. I
appreciate it.
know.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I know we
Thanks
had
for
some
having
technical
me.
difficulties, but I appreciate you following through and jumping in a couple more times to make it work.
That's great. It was my pleasure.
Man, thank you, Evan.